if you're bashing a woman that's transformed into piñata with a stick of rock in the back garden, you're not thinking, oh, what's the mise en scène? Oh, what's he got in the house? You're concentrating on the action. It's very much an action book, um, with, with a lot of filler. Hi, I'm Andy, and this is I Tried to Write a Book, episode 3, and the fact that you're still here, well, says more about you than it does me. But we're becoming rather close friends, aren't we? Although I suspect that you're not here for me. You're here for the book, aren't you, you little masochist? So, without further ado, I'm going to start reading it. Now! The following afternoon, as planned, the couple set off for Maria's Auntie Dorothy's party. Who knows if she'd even be there herself? Last Christmas, she disappeared during a game of Christmas bingo and came back 2 days later in a limousine with her new toy boy, Gonzalo, wearing nothing but tinsel at the ripe age of 89. That wasn't on my bingo card. She's 90 now. Top of the shop, he calls her. Who knows what he'll call her next year? I don't think bingo goes up to 91. I'm just glad he didn't meet her a couple of years ago. 88. Two fat ladies, just to start the episode with a distasteful joke there. And it's just too much bingo stuff, isn't it? I just don't think it's necessary. I did that in the last episode, didn't I? That with the leaf analogy. And Maria was just banging on and on about leaves. And we're doing the same with bingo. Obviously, I think it's a good idea at the time when I'm writing it, but reading it now is too much, really. Although that's great vocabulary. In America, they've got a different type of bingo. So I don't think they have like these phrases. So actually, he's doing well for himself, Gonzalo. And of course he's doing well for himself. He's got a 90-year-old girlfriend who he loves, presumably. Who's draped in tinsel. Auntie Dorothy is definitely my favourite character. She's a wild card. She's a maverick. I mean, she's 90 and she's running around with this toy boy draped in tinsel. Anything can happen when Auntie Dorothy's there. And a lot of things do happen later on in the book when Auntie Dorothy's there. And so, yeah, just tried to show that she's a bit of a wild card. Don't know if you got that from those paragraphs. It's too draped in bingo you got to look past the bingo and try and find some content.
Where is the story set?
The story originally took place in somewhere in the United States. One of these sort of suburban towns. I know that Torquay is mentioned. I don't think you can expect that level of continuity. I don't know where it's set in England, America, you know what I mean? Let's say Torquay. The car ride was unsettling. Steam was coming out of Bertie's ears. He'll want to get that looked at, really. He didn't even remember agreeing to attend the party in the first place. He was doing that thing where you pretend to listen, but actually you're just waiting to say your next line. The conversation escalated away from a fiery but flirty interchange about local politics into a slobber knocker. Grammatical mistake here, put the wrong your. So good job I saw it and not you, to be fair. Yeah. And of course, that is how every car journey starts. A flirty but fiery interchange about local politics. Fairly typical. But the conversation is obviously about to degenerate.
When you travelled there, what sort of place greeted you?
I've never been to Torquay, but I've been to Blackpool.
Well, usually authors are familiar with the places they write about.
Yeah, but if you've been to Blackpool, you've been to. All right, the book's set in Blackpool.
Is that in the book?
We don't even know this guy. What does he really want with her? Said Bertie. They're in love. That's all. Is that Maria's voice? No, it is now, so. Do you want me to explain? Said Maria. The forecast says it's gonna rain. Oh, bloody hell. I just don't know why we're risking it, he snapped. Well, you're not made of sugar, are you? You won't melt, Maria replied. I'm wearing my belt. Bertie looked at her for a few seconds. He muttered under his breath, whatever I'm made of, I'm sweeter than you. He sighed and said, can we just go in already? I really like this idiom. Well, you're not made of sugar, are you? You won't melt. I don't know if it's a real idiom, but my football manager, about 15 years ago, he was called Richie. Very charismatic man. Very, very intriguing personality, actually. And he used to stand at the side. He was kind of a commanding figure. He was well above 6 foot. And if it started raining, which it quite often did in England, the players would complain, and he'd say, well, you're not made of sugar, are you? You won't melt. So, I quite often got brain freeze. Some people got hypothermia. I think a couple of people died. And he just said, well, at least you're not made of sugar. You won't melt. And obviously this line kind of foreshadows Maria's transformation. You're not made of sugar, but we know, as you probably will be, in about 70 pages. So foreshadowing, eh? Decent construct from me. I'm proud of that one. And also, I'll tell you another construct that I've managed to achieve. A bit of continuity. The continuity's been a mess so far. But Bertie's got hearing problems. And guess what? He had hearing problems in the last episode. Great. I've nailed it. Who says I'm not a writer? Well, come on. What's the place in the Lord of the Rings, like Offendor or something? Isengard. Had Tolkien, had he been to Isengard before writing a book about Isengard? No.
You are aware that Isengard is a fictional location.
Yeah, but to me and many of England, Torquay is a fictional place. Have you ever met anybody that's been to Torquay? Where is it? South, southwest, southeast? You know what I mean?
It's in your novel.
Yeah, and just don't. When you see the word Torquay, forget it.
Maria knocked at the front door, whilst Bertie was still near the car. There was no answer. It wasn't like Auntie Dorothy was going to spring to her feet to answer the door. Gonzalo was the type of man who never opened a door, because he believed that if somebody needed you that much, they would already be in your company, and opening a door is never worth the risk. You could get lucky. What if you'd won the postcode lottery? What if a little Girl Scout had brought round some cookies? On the flip side, what if it was a rabid horse with a gun? Even worse, what if it was somebody that wanted a conversation? Gonzalo liked to be in control of his own destiny by keeping the door closed. Although, when he's expecting party guests, who are the main characters of my story, it is a little bit frustrating. I know what you're thinking. Gonzalo is got a guarded character. He's defensive, he's cautious. But actually, I don't think Gonzalo's like that at all. Don't think that this is like, I've described Gonzalo's character traits. This doesn't come up again. I think he's quite a fluid and relaxed character. So I think I just wanted to talk some rubbish, really. So, you know, keep it in your mind in case it is relevant. I don't think it is relevant, but, you know, we'll see. as with most of this book. We'll see what happens.
Why is the story not set in Blackpool?
Because Blackpool's a place that shouldn't be brought up or mentioned. We need to be forgetting about places like Blackpool. But Torquay sort of seems like a foreign land.
Well, one of the defining features of it would be, from your point of view, it isn't foreign.
But it's foreign to the rest of us in England. Torquay thinks it's in England. It is, but do the rest of us think it is?
The two could smell the scent of exotic meat sizzling on a barbecue. Maria licked her lips and decided to impose herself through the back gate. Way too much that. That is a classic example of trying to shoehorn in like the most exotic vocabulary that you can into, you know, that could have just been she opened the door, but no, she has to impose herself through the back. And it doesn't really sound like something that it should be. She's just gone through the gate. As Bertie walked slowly after her, he could hear a faint mariachi melody. With every step he got closer, it became louder, and his stomach started to twist a little bit more. When he reached the gate, he trembled for a moment, and then pushed through the gate with his fingertips. Right, so they finally entered this party at Auntie Dorothy's house, which is going to be a real catalyst for the story. But this paragraph's just getting to know the four characters a bit more. We learn more about Bertie and Maria and their frustrations. We learn about Auntie Dorothy, which I think you're going to really enjoy moving forward. We learn stuff about Gonzalo as well, and we don't know whether we should remember it or not, whether it's relevant. But, you know, establishing more characters, we've had the journey, we've really set the scene that Maria and Bertie, you know, don't connect, there's some kind of disconnect. And we'll find out in the next episode what happens at the party. I think it's going to be a big episode next time, and you don't want to miss it.
So for you, the setting of a book isn't important?
Well, I think people can just imagine where it is. I actually don't really like books that are set in the real world or with, you know, real famous people in it. I find it kind of an annoyance that you can't just create a whole world. So it's kind of England, it's kind of America. Just read it.
I've been waiting for about 3 weeks now for a comment. Get your comments in. At the moment, you just consume us on you. You just watch me and you consume. You don't contribute to the community, do you? Come on, help me out. Why do you refuse to help me out? Comment, tell me what you think, and I will include it as part of my review. Next time, I'm going to be reading the same book, except it's going to be different pages. I don't want to read the same pages, do I? That would be ridiculous, and you wouldn't want to watch it. Surprised you wanted to watch it in the first place. Check it out, episode 4,